Lanka Morning Show. Ayurvedic.
සුද එන්න ගිහින් වදමුණ පුරා පෙම් පිදිලා ඉන්න එකා උඹ හැන්දෑකරේ දොර කන්ද කපා හඳ ගෙට එන්නා පින්න මලේ සුද එන්න ගිහින් වදමුණ පුරා පෙම් පිදිලා ඉන්න එපා උඹ හැන්දෑකගේ දොර කන්ද කපා හඳ ගෙට එන්නා නැමි බන්දි කුරක්කන් අන්න බලාපන් අත වනතේ මන්ද නගේ උඹ යන්නේ ගමෙන් පිට ගංගොඩවෙල් එලිපාලු වෙතේ පින්න මලේ සුද එන්න ගිහින් වදමුණ පුරා පෙම් පිරිලා ඉන්න එපා උඹ හැන්දෑකරේ දොර කන්ද කපා හඳ ගෙට එන්නා ඉන්න වගේ උඹ එන්නේ අලුත් අවුරුදු කාලේ ගන්න එපා පරදේශ සිරිත් එක මේක අපේ සිංහල දේශේ පින්න මලේ සුද එන්න ගිහින් වදමුණ පුරා පෙම් පිදිලා ඉන්න එපා උඹ හැන්දෑකරේ දොර කන්ද කපා හඳ ගෙට එන්නා පින්න මලේ සුද එන්න ගිහින් වදමුණ පුරා පෙම් පිදිලා උඹ හැන්දෑකරේ දොර කන්ද කපා හඳ ගෙට එන්නා
Ayurvedic. My name is Dr. Sam Dasanayaka. I'm an Ayurvedic doctor practicing in Melbourne. Today in the Ayurvedic segment in Sri Lanka Morning Show, we will be discussing about new beginnings, new ambitions and new intentions. When we are going to embark on a new year, it is of utmost importance that you set up new goals. Now when you are setting up these new goals, it is also important that you make very firm but yet achievable. So don't make really big goals, because when you are unable to achieve them, then you will feel sad and depressed. No one wants to be that way. So in a new year, when we are stepping on to do things, we have to think differently. Differently means think fresh. Get rid of everything on your desktop and place new things, few things. Make it clutter free, just like your mind. Mind has to be clutter free. Mind has to be anxiety free and stress free. You have to think differently. This is of importance. When you are starting a new year, that you set up new agendas, new goals, you have to make sure that you think about your well-being. Are you eating healthy? Do you have regular bowel movements? Do you drink plenty of water? Among other things. You have to make sure you have the body movements. That means exercise. Are you doing enough exercise? No? 20 minutes every day. You can start by walking, and then you can move to walking and jogging and walking, and then to jogging for the most part, and then walking. So change it. You will find you are improving circulation. During summertime you are sweating, that will open the channels, and then you accelerate your heartbeats from 160 to 180. That will flush out the toxins, get rid of the cholesterol or burn the cholesterol. That will make you more healthy. It's very important that you also incorporate a healthy diet. Something soft but yet nourishing in the morning. Porridge, cereal, wheat bix, and some fruits. Stay away from breads, any type of bread, whether it is wholemeal, multigrain, sourdough. They are not very important. But cereal, things with rich in fiber, just like a herbal porridge, will make you regulate your bowel movements, get rid of cholesterol, give you enough strength, and awaken you. And the fruits give you loads of vitamin C. And during lunchtime, make sure you incorporate a lot of green vegetables. And if you like meat, then have a softer meat like chicken. And always make sure you communicate with your loved ones with kindness, compassion, and love. So in the new year time, you have to think differently. You have to reprogram your mind to think differently. Look at the things that you have achieved and be grateful for those. Your health, your wealth, and your relationships. Rekindle the relationships. Think how grateful you are to have your partner, your friend, your parents, and your siblings. Talk to them. Let them know that you love them, you care for them. So these are very important facts. Most often times we take these relationships for granted. If you don't express how much you care and love for one another, they might not know. You might not know. So in Ayurvedic terms, it is of importance that you express and exchange the energies, greetings, vibrations, communications, and feel good. This is of importance. If you have yet not joined a yoga class, this is the time to join a yoga class. In a yoga class, always talk to your yoga teacher. Let them know how you feel. Do more pranayam, kapalabhati, nidra yoga, meditation, asanas. Do one, and then you will know how good you feel, how relaxed you are. Don't plan on doing grocery shopping or driving to somewhere after the yoga class. Most appropriate is that you go home and extend that relaxation and feel good after the yoga class. Always have plenty of water, warm water preferably, and always have pleasant thoughts. And if someone is aggravating, making you feel unworthy, talk to them. Most, if you can't talk to them and make them change their mind, stay away from them. Go along with people who will make you feel better. So these are the new agendas. I hope you will take this useful information on board. If you want to get connected with us, you can contact Sri Lanka Morning Show and get the information from there, or you can call Sahandro Ayurvedic Center by email, by mobile. We'll be happy to help you out, and hope you will have a fantastic, a good and healthy new year ahead, and be safe and kind to each other. Until we meet again, Ayubowan.
Abacus Solar, latest and reliable solar systems, world best panels and inverters, price beat guarantee, supervised system installation, excellent after sales service. Call 1300 852 843.
Rosewood Downs Excellence in Aged Care, a modern purpose-built home available in single and double rooms with ensuite and telephone in every room. Contact Ruben and Christine on 9701 3234.
Sanji Caldera Associates. With our headquarters based in Melbourne, Australia, you can locate our branch offices in Sri Lanka, Dubai, Canada and London, UK. Some of our services include skilled migration visa, family migration visa, employer sponsorship visa, temporary resident visa, business visa, tourist visa, student visa, administrative appeals tribunal review. Pursuit of excellence through tailored solutions.
The science of life, traditionally known as the Ayurveda. Consultations, diagnosis and treatments are done by fully qualified Ayurvedic practitioner Dr. Sam Dasanayake. Sahandro Ayurvedic Center, best wellness experience.
News Weekly is brought to you by Esden, the horse specialist. Esden Plastics Private Limited, 525 to 527 Hammond Road, Dandenong South.
Today we bring to you a new segment, The Fascinating World of Birds. Joining with me is an avid birdwatcher, author, and medical student who has pursued his passion for birdwatching since a very young age. Publishing over 11 books since the age of 8, Chanith Wijeratna is the recipient of the prestigious Judith's Reading Room Award, and he is also the editor of the Migraine Foundation of Australia. Chanith joins us today to share his experiences and give us a greater insight about birdwatching. Welcome, Chanith.
Thank you, Sioda, for that very kind introduction, and good morning to you all.
So, Chanith, what first got you interested in the hobby of birdwatching?
Well, it's a bit of a funny story, really. It all began in my first year of schooling, where for my birthday, for no real reason at all, I was gifted with a bird field guide. I'm still not entirely sure why this happened, because prior to this, I had shown no interest in birdwatching whatsoever, and yet, when I woke up that morning, there it was. Anyway, at that point in time, I was pretty bored, so I figured, since I had the book, may as well use it. And from there, and from reading the field guide quite avidly, I got more and more interested in the world of birds. I started doing some rather dodgy, admittedly, drawings of the birds in the book to try and familiarize myself with them, and I started trying to see what I could spot, first in my garden, then in the parks around my house, and then eventually further afield. And now I've gone completely fanatical for it, to the extent that if a rare bird shows up in Victoria, I'll usually try and get after it as soon as I can.
So, Chanith, why would you recommend birdwatching to other interested people out there?
Well, there are a few reasons. First off, it's something anyone can get into. There's no real age limit. I know both some pretty young and pretty old birdwatchers. Second off, and this is the main reason really, I think it really gives you a new appreciation of the world around you. There's something to be said for just going down a drive, just down to your local chemist's, and knowing when you pass a bird, oh, that's an Indian myna, that's a house sparrow, and just being able to know a few facts about each thing, it really adds a lot of depth to your everyday experience.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a lot of really interesting experiences out of it as well. As you get more into it, you travel a lot, you see a lot of places that you wouldn't otherwise see. I can't recommend it enough, really.
That sounds very interesting. So for keen bird enthusiasts who are thinking of getting started in the hobby of birding, what tips or advice would you give them?
Well, the first thing I would say is it's imperative to try and get yourself a good field guide.
What's a field guide? Would you mind elaborating on that for us?
Well, a field guide is a sort of general term for a book that discusses a certain group of animals and shows how to identify them. In this context, of course, I'm talking about a bird field guide. A bird field guide usually contains a series of plates which are sort of spreads of images of various birds, usually illustrated images, but sometimes photos as well. And then alongside these plates, there'll be little descriptions of each species, where you can find them, some sort of tips and tricks to telling them apart, maybe descriptions of the call, descriptions of the nest, sometimes a few little added facts about the behavior. It's a very useful tool to have as you're learning your first IDs.
Are there any digital resources along with the field guide that keen bird enthusiasts would be able to utilise?
There are. One of the main ones is that the field guides I mentioned, a lot of them come in application form now. Second off, there's a website called eBird where many birdwatchers record their sightings, and you can use this both to find nearby birdwatching hotspots, submit your own data for other researchers to use, and see what other people have been seeing in the area. And if you're very avid, you can subscribe to a rare bird alert as well, which tells you when anything particularly special pops up.
Well, Chanith, thank you so much for joining with us today and sharing your experiences and insights about birdwatching.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course. Join us again for our next episode of Fascinating World of Birds, where we will be discussing the noisy miner.
Good morning everyone, hope you all are doing well. It is a pleasure to be back with you again today to talk about something really important. I know as our viewers of Sri Lanka Morning Show, dementia is something that you are really scared of. The moment that you can't remember where you kept the keys or you can't remember where you left the wallet, you wonder whether you are having dementia. Dementia is something that you don't want to have. Unfortunately, as it is, 1 in 3 of us are having the risk of either developing a stroke or dementia based on very well done Framingham study, as we know. Today, we are going to talk about how we might be able to prevent most of the dementia affecting us. Now, to set the scene, we have to remind ourselves our beautiful brain. As you know, brain is the most important organ in our body. It is the central processing unit of everything that we do. We think, we talk, we plan, we get angry, we drive, we dance, we eat, we sing. All those things we do thanks to our brain. Now, dementia is an umbrella term that we use when our brain fails to function. We have different types of dementia depending on which parts, which networks of the brain is actually failing. So the tips of preventing dementia, I like to break into different parts. So the first thing is how we eat. It is very important that we eat healthy. This program has come back to you on multiple occasions how to eat healthy. So I'm not going to elaborate on that fact, except to remind that healthy eating is very important in this fight of preventing dementia. Eating plenty of fruits, vegetables, cutting back carbohydrate intake, cutting back red meat, cutting back high-fat diet, and all the other good things that you keep learning by watching this program would help you to eat healthy. The next thing that is very important to remember is understanding your numbers. Say for an example, blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol levels. Controlling these things very well would put you in very good shape to prevent you from developing dementia significantly. Now, when it comes to blood pressure, you are aware that your doctor is going to tell you two numbers, something like 140/90, 150/80, something like that. These two numbers need to make sense in your head. The higher number, say 140 millimeter mercury, that means that's the pressure that your body is maintaining when your heart is pumping blood away from the heart. The lower number, like 80 or 90,
is the number or the pressure that your body is maintaining in your blood vessels when your heart is relaxing to collect blood when it is coming back to the heart away from the body. Blood sugar, cholesterol, you are very familiar with these things. Remembering those numbers and maintaining the appropriate numbers to the normal level is critically important in preventing dementia journey. This is if the numbers are high. Those of you who are fortunate enough not to have diabetes or blood pressure, it is still important once you pass the age 25, 30, perhaps or even 20, to keep an eye on these numbers every now and then. After 30 or 40 years of age, it is probably useful to check these numbers regularly. Blood tests once every 3 months or so, blood pressure every time when you go and see your family doctor. These days you can actually get one of those electronic measuring devices to measure your blood pressure and measure them at home. So that's the second thing, understanding the medical problems or problems in your sugar, cholesterol, blood pressure, and keeping those numbers within normal limits. The other thing is social interactions. Now, if you are a viewer of Sri Lanka Morning Show from a different city in the world, whether it is in Sri Lanka, Italy, Germany, or USA, or UK, New Zealand, or Australia, you know the importance of these social interactions. Our viewership is like that. I want you to enhance these interactions and expand these interactions because there are benefits of doing that. So social networks, social interactions in real day-to-day physical life is very important. And the pandemic that we are going through is a timely reminder. If you remember the lockdown days, you could remember how your brain felt with almost like brain fog when you didn't go out and when you did not have real social interactions. So they are quite useful. The other useful exercise to prevent dementia is exercising your brain. We are very good at physical exercise. Every time when you drive around, you see a lot of gymnasiums and other physical activity clubs, but hardly any brain exercise clubs. So how do you exercise brain? Well, there are multiple tips that you can do to exercise brain. One good example is reading non-fiction books. Reading non-fiction books is quite useful to preserve brain function and prevent dementia. Learning a new language, learning a new musical instrument, or learning a musical instrument if you are not into musical instruments in the first place. All these things are quite useful to prevent dementia and preserve brain function. Board games, the games that are challenging to your brain, learning a new language, they are also useful exercises or useful activities to prevent dementia and preserve brain function. The traveling is also a very useful exercise to brain, specifically if you are in a position to travel overseas where the language is different, where your brain is challenged to navigate through that traveling process and sightseeing and understanding new atmosphere and new environment. These are also useful tips to prevent dementia and preserve brain function. Another useful thing is healthy habits. Say for an example, keep well away from smoking or not smoking at all. And I am a proponent of keep well away from alcohol also. In my book, the safest amount of alcohol is 0. So both smoking and alcohol are actually threatening your brain function. So I would avoid them if this is a possibility. In fact, we learned during 2017 that I was fortunate enough to be part of the authorship that even breathing poor quality air is increasing your risk of death and other brain disorders such as dementia significantly. So those of us who are fortunate enough to live in a place where air is clean, it is important that we don't pick up something like smoking. You may probably not know, every time when you take a smoke, including vaping, you actually put something like 6,000, 7,000 very bad chemicals into your body. So please don't do that. That would help you to prevent dementia. And there are some medications that are not quite helpful for our memory. So, and for an example, some medications that might decrease the chemical known as acetylcholine level in your brain could impair brain function, specifically if your brain function or the cognitive function is already impaired. So these are some of the tips that I shared with you today that are quite useful to prevent dementia. Also important to prevent having a stroke. Today we don't have time to go through stroke prevention. One thing that you might be able to do is download the app called Stroke Riskometer, which is freely available. That would give you calculating your stroke risk and tips to prevent stroke. Important to prevent strokes. When you prevent stroke, you prevent dementia up to about 30% of the time, from a very well done study that was done in Canada recently. So let us preserve brain function. Let us learn how to prevent dementia, because without our brains we are absolutely nothing. Brain health is the most supreme health. I hope these tips are of use for you. We are happy to take your questions in comment section, and happy to come back and answer those questions in a future program.
Abacus Solar, latest and reliable solar systems, world best panels and inverters, price beat guarantee, supervised system installation, excellent after sales service. Call 1300 852 843.
Rosewood Downs Excellence in Aged Care, a modern purpose-built home available in single and double rooms with ensuite and telephone in every room. Contact Ruben and Christine on 9701 3234.
Sanji Caldera Associates. With our headquarters based in Melbourne, Australia, you can locate our branch offices in Sri Lanka, Dubai, Canada and London, UK. Some of our services include skilled migration visa, family migration visa, employer sponsorship visa, temporary resident visa, business visa, tourist visa, student visa, administrative appeals tribunal review. Pursuit of excellence through tailored solutions.
The science of life, traditionally known as the Ayurveda. Consultations, diagnosis and treatments are done by fully qualified Ayurvedic practitioner Dr. Sam Dasanai. Sahandro Ayurvedic Centre, best wellness experience.
The segment that promotes Sri Lankan culture, diversity, nature and heritage is proudly sponsored by Prestige Wardrobe and Shower Screens. We bring you a special segment to promote Sri Lanka. A special thank you to Sandra and Estrid Jackson for providing us with this segment.
Anuradhapur. Anuradhapur is an ancient sacred city that was established around a cutting from Buddha's fig tree. Dating back to the 3rd century BC, Anuradhapur was established by the founder of an order of Buddhist nuns. This magnificent city of palaces, temples, and monuments flourished for 1,300 years, but was abandoned after it was invaded in the late 10th century. Much like Peru's Machu Picchu, locals were aware of it, but not many others until it was discovered by Europeans many centuries later. These fantastic ruins have since been excavated and are accessible for the public to enjoy. Number 7. Colombo. Colombo has been the commercial capital of Sri Lanka for more than 2,000 years, when its large natural harbor made it popular with ancient trades from Italy to China. It's often referred to as the country's capital, though the legislative capital is located in a nearby city. Ruled over by first Portuguese and then British colonists, Colombo is a popular tourist destination. The city seamlessly mixes modern malls and skyscrapers with beautiful colonial buildings. A range of architectural styles can be found in the city, with the Muguran Hindu temple being one of the best.
Hi, today I have something everyone knows, something like paella, but I'm going to make it a little different with use different rice and also use some extra seafood to make as a seafood rice with saffron. So let's go through the ingredients. Here I have mixed seafood. I got the marinara mix from the shop and New Zealand mussels. Rice, I'm using basmati rice, and also onion, spring onion, and saffron, garlic, salt and pepper. Okay, I have some olive oil. So this is a very simple dish, but you have to have a lot of patience. So let's start working on it. So now I'm going to heat up my pan. So while my pan is getting hot, I'm going to slice my onion. And my garlic. So my pan is now hot. So let's start cooking. So olive oil goes in. Oh, it's hot, very hot. Yeah. So my garlic, onion. Now I want to seal my seafood. Some people do it this last, but I like to do it first. Beautiful smell, you see? So now I'm going to add my saffron. And then my rice. It all goes together. No need to wait for one to the other, so on. So, yeah. So I'm going to give it a stir. You can see the saffron color comes through and beautiful smells. And so I'm going to let it cook, so like that. So some salt now. So you can see now all the starches start sticking to the bottom, so reduce the fire and add your water. But you got to keep on stirring until start boil. And add more water and let it cook slowly. Smells beautiful. So as you can see now, the water is reducing and the rice is getting cooked. So not fully cooked yet. So this is the time to add my mussels, because I didn't want to add my mussels earlier. It's difficult to work with. So I add my mussels like this, and then give it one more stir and add my spring onions. And it's good time to taste and see whether you got enough salt. Perfect. So give it another mix like that. Reduce the fire. Well, you can see it's all good now. It's all good. Nice rice grains are cooked, I think. Let me have a good taste, and I can see that smell is amazing. So let me have a quick taste to see whether the rice is cooked. Perfect. So let me start dishing up. Oh well, here we go. You see, looks like paella, beautiful seafood rice. You see, all the New Zealand mussels cooked nicely. Rice grains are not overcooked. Beautiful al dente cooked, very nice. And this parsley over. So there you go. Very easy, very simple, and smells beautiful. So this is what I said. It's like paella, but it's not paella. It is a seafood cooked with basmati. So that's all for the day. We see you again with a new recipe next week. Bye for now.
Come over here.
I may be blue, I'll manage somehow. Love can be explained and be controlled. One day is war, next day is cool. Don't pity me, 'cause I'm feeling blue. Don't be ashamed, it might happen to you. Oh, kiss me one time, then good love, I understand. Don't worry about me. Sweet, sweet, sweet love, that I want you to be as happy as I when you love me. I'll never forget you, your sweet memory is alright now. Don't worry about me. When one heart there, one heart goodbye, one heart will die, one heart will die. Kiss me one time, then good love, I'll understand. Don't worry about me.
Coming on, let's
Thank
go.
you.
Abacus Solar, latest and reliable solar systems, world best panels and inverters, price beat guarantee, supervised system installation, excellent after sales service. Call 1300 852 843.
Rosewood Downs Excellence in Aged Care, a modern purpose-built home available in single and double rooms with ensuite and telephone in every room. Contact Ruben and Christine on 9701 3234.
Sanji Caldera Associates. With our headquarters based in Melbourne, Australia, you can locate our branch offices in Sri Lanka, Dubai, Canada and London, UK. Some of our services include skilled migration visa, family migration visa, employer sponsorship visa, temporary resident visa, business visa, tourist visa, student visa, administrative appeals tribunal review. Pursuit of excellence through tailored solutions.
The science of life, traditionally known as the Ayurveda. Consultations, diagnosis and treatments are done by fully qualified Ayurvedic practitioner Dr. Sam Dasanayake. Sahandro Ayurvedic Center, best wellness experience.
අයිබෝන් ඔස්ට්‍රේලියාවේ ජීවත් වුණාට ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයන් වශයෙන් අපේ රට ගැන අපේ රටේ ජීවත් වෙන අහිංසක ජනතාව ගැන අපට හැඟීමක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒ හැඟීමෙන් කටයුතු කරන බොහෝ පිරිස ඔස්ට්‍රේලියාව තුළ ජීවත් වෙනවා වගේම ශ්‍රී ලංකාව වෙනුවෙන් විවිධ ආකාරයෙන් Tamanට හැකි අයුරින් දායක වෙනවා. ඉතින් අද අපි කතා කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ ඒ වගේම ප්‍රජා ව්‍යාපෘතියක් පිළිබඳව. ඒ ව්‍යාපෘතිය පිළිබඳව මීට කාලයකට කලිනුත් අපි ඔබත් සමග අපේ තොරතුරු බෙදා හදාගෙන තියෙනවා. නමුත් ඒකෙන් වෙන අලුත් වැඩපිළිවෙළක් ගැන අපි ඔබ සමග කතා කරන්නට හිතුවා. ඒ සංජි කල්දේරා අධ්‍යාපන පදනම එමත් නැත්නම් සංජි කල්දේරා এডুকেෂන් ෆවුන්ඩේෂන් මගින් සිදු කරන ව්‍යාපෘති සම්බන්ධවයි අද අපි කතා කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. ඒ සඳහා අපි සමග සම්බන්ධ වෙනවා සංජි කල්දේරා ඇසෝසියේෂන්ස් වල සභාපති ධූරය දරන සංජි කල්දේරා මහතා. මුලින්ම ශ්‍රී ලංකා මොනින් ෂෝ වැඩසටහනට අපි ඔබව ආයුබෝවන් කියලා පිළිගන්නවා සංජි.
ආයුබෝවන් තුෂාර.
සංජි මම මුලින්ම දැනගන්න කැමති ඇයි මේ වගේ මේ අධ්‍යාපන පදනමක් පටන් ගන්න හිතුවේ?
ඒක හොඳ ප්‍රශ්නයක් තුෂාර. මම නිදහස් අධ්‍යාපන ලැබපු පුද්ගලයෙක් කොළඹ ආනන්ද විද්‍යාලයේ. අපේ අම්මලා තාත්තලා කවදාවත් වියදමක් කරේ නැහැ. අපිට හොඳ අධ්‍යාපනයක් මේ ඒ ස්කෝලෙන් හම්බුණා. අද අපි ඔස්ට්‍රේලියාවට ඇවිල්ලා අපි යම් කිසි තත්වයකට පැමිණලා තියෙනවා නම් ඒකට අපි මං කියනවා ෆවුන්ඩේෂන් එක අපිට පදනම දීලා තියෙන්නේ ඒ අපේ රට දුප්පත් රටක් වෙලා. ඒ වගේම අපි දන්නවා විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයට ඒක නිදහස් විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයක් කිසිම වියදමක් නැහැ. අද අපි දන්නවා ඔස්ට්‍රේලියාවේ අපේ දරුවන් විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයකට ගියොත් අපි මේ පොසත් රටක් වෙලා ඒගොල්ලන්ට යම් කිසි ගෙවීමක් හෙක්ස් මාර්ගෙන් ගෙවන්න තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මං හිතුවා දුෂ්කර ප්‍රදේශයක මගෙන් මේ මොනවා හරි කන්ට්‍රිබියුෂන් එකක් ඒ රටට දායකත්වයක් ලබා දෙන්න. ඒක කතරගම ප්‍රදේශයේ දැන් අවුරුදු 8කට විතර කාලයකදී මම අතිරේක පාසලක් පවත්වාගෙන යනවා. දැන්
මොකක්ද මේ අතිරේක පාසලක් කියලා කිව්වේ?
මේ අතිරේක පාසලක් කියන්නේ අපි දන්නවා ඉස්කෝලවල අධ්‍යාපනය තියෙනවා. හැබැයි ගොඩක් ළමයි 6 වෙනි පන්තියේ අපි කියමු ශිෂ්‍යත්ව පන්තියේ ඉඳන්ම ටියුෂන් වලට යන ඒක අවශ්‍ය වෙලා තියෙනවා. හැබැයි ඒ දරුවන්ට එහෙම ටියුෂන් පන්තියකට ගිහිල්ලා අම්මලා තාත්තලාට විදන් කරන්න සල්ලි නැහැ. ඔව්. ඉතින් මම ඒකට කරලා තියෙන්නේ හොඳ ගුරුවරු කට්ටියක් පත් කරලා මේගොල්ලන්ට අතිරේක පාසලක් මේ පාසල පවත්වන්නේ සෙල්ලකතරගම මහාවිද්‍යාලයේ ඇතුළත. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට අධ්‍යාපන දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවෙන් සම්පූර්ණ සහයෝගය ලැබිලා තියෙනවා සෙන්සුරාදා පාසල පවත්වාගෙන යන්න ඒ පන්ති කාමර තුල. ඉතින් ශිෂ්‍යත්වයෙන් ඉඳන් සාමාන්‍ය පෙළ දක්වා තියෙන හැම විෂයකටම අපි මේ අතිරේක පාසල පවත්වාගෙන යනවා.
දැන් ඔබ මේ ගුරුවරුන් යොදාගෙන තියෙනවා කිව්වා ඒ සඳහා දක්ෂ ගුරුවරුන් ඔවුන්ට වෙනම ඔබ ගෙවීමක් කරලාද ඒ අය නැත්නම් ස්වේච්ඡාවෙන්ද?
නෑ ඒ ගුරුවරුගේ පඩියක් ලැබෙනවා. ඒ පඩිය ලැබෙන්නේ මේ පදනමෙන්. ඒ වගේම ඒගොල්ලන්ත් බොහොම උනන්දුවෙන් මේ වැඩපිළිවෙල ක්‍රියා කරගෙන යනවා.
දැන් අමතර පාසල අතිරේක පාසලකින් අධ්‍යාපනයට අමතරව මේ පාසලෙන් දරුවන්ට මොන වගේ වෙනත් සේවාවන්ද සපයන්නේ?
අපි දන්නවා කතරගම ඉතාම දුෂ්කර ප්‍රදේශයක්.
අනිවාර්යයෙන්.
අපි මේ හැම දෙයක්ම කරන්නේ අධ්‍යාපනය වටා. ඉතින් අපිට හමු වෙන සමහර දරුවන් ඒ අම්මලා තාත්තලා බොහෝම අමාරුවෙන් ජීවත් වෙනවා. හැබැයි ළමයි දක්ෂයි ඉගෙනුමට ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ගෙදර තත්ත්වය බැලුවම සමහරලාට පොඩි මඩුවක හෝ නැත්නම් ප්ලාස්ටික් කවරයක් දාපු මඩුවක ජීවත් වෙනවා. හැබැයි හරිම දක්ෂ ළමයි. අපි මේ ළමයින්ගේ මේ පවුල් තෝරගෙන අපි ආණ්ඩුවෙන් ඉඩම් ලබාගෙන ඒ වගේම මේගොල්ලන්ට ගෙවල් හදන ව්‍යාපෘතියක් ලබා තිනවා. දැන් මේ අවුරුදු එකමාර ඇතුළත අපි ගෙවල් 10ක් සම්පූර්ණ කරලා තිනවා.
මේ පදනම හරහා.
මේ පදනම හරහා. ඒකට වියදම් කරනවා නෑදෑයෝ දන්න අඳුරණයන් ඒ වගේම අපේ මයිග්‍රේෂන් ආයතනෙත් අපි සහයෝගය දක්වනවා ඒ ගෙවල් සැලීම සම්බන්ධයෙන්.
ඔව් බොහොමත්ම වැදගත් සත්කාරයක් ඒක. දැන් මේ දරුවන්ට අධ්‍යාපනයට අමතරව වුන්ට නිවාස ලබා දෙන්නට අමතරව අපි හිතමු දරුවෝ අධ්‍යාපනයට විතරක් නෙමෙයි වුන් ක්‍රීඩාවට වෙනත් විශේෂ දක්ෂතා තියෙන අය ඉන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේ අයටත් යම්කිසි පහසුකමක් සලසනවද?
ඔව් හරිදුකයි කියන්නේ කතරගම ප්‍රදේශයේ පාසල් වල කිසිම ක්‍රීඩාවක් දැන් කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඉතින් මම හිතුවා මේ අපි දුප්පත් ළමයින්ගේ දුප්පත් මිනිහාගේ ක්‍රීඩාව තමයි පාපන්දු ක්‍රීඩාව.
ඔව්.
සොකර් බෝල් එකක් ටිකක් අරගත්තට පස්සේ පොඩි ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් එකක් හදාලා පස්සේ ඉතින් අපි පිරිමි ළමයින්ට ඉගෙන ළමයින්ටයි දෙන්නම දෙගොල්ලම සොකර් ප්ලේ කරනවා. ඒ වගේම දැල්පන්දු නෙට්බෝල් වලට ඒ අවශ්‍ය ක්‍රීඩා භාණ්ඩ අපි ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා. දැන් අපි දන්නවා ගොඩාක් ළමයි මේ ඉස්කෝලේට ඇවිල්ලා මේ ක්‍රීඩාව සම්බන්ධයෙන්
පුහුණුකරුවෙක් එහෙම ඉන්නවද?
පුහුණුකරුවෙකුත් ඉන්නවා. කලාප අධ්‍යක්ෂ අපිට හරියටම අධ්‍යාපන කලාප අධ්‍යක්ෂ බොහොම සහයෝගයක් දෙනවා මේ ඒ ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ටීචර්ස් ලව ගේන්න. ඉතින් ඊටාම සුළු මුදලකින් කරන්න පුළුවන්
ලොකු සත්කාරයක්.
ලොකු සත්කාරයක් කරන්න පුළුවන්.
සංජි දැන් මේ කරගෙන යන වැඩසටහනට ඔබ මම හිතන්නේ අලුතින් යමක් මේ ව්‍යාපෘතියට මෑතකදී එකතු කළා. ළමයි වෙනුවෙන්. ඒ මොකක්ද?
ඔව් අපි දන්නවා අපි හැමෝම දන්නවා ලංකාවේ මේ හැම ආහාර ද්‍රව්‍යවල මිල බොහොම සීක්‍රේ නැගලා තියෙනවා. සමහර දරුවන් සමහර ගොඩාක් පවුල් තියෙනවා ඒ ළමයින්ට එක වේලක් කැම දෙන්නෙත් බොහොම අමාරුවෙන්. දැන් අපි දන්නවා සෙන්සුරාදා පාසලට උදේ 7ට ඉස්කෝලේ එනවා. ඊට ඉස්සෙන්දර කැමවත් පස්සෙන්ද උදේවත් කැම කාලේ නැති ළමයි. ඉතින් අපි හිතුවා මේ ඒගොල්ලෝ ඇවිල්ලා කවදාවත් පැය 10ක විතර පන්ති තියෙනවා. ඒ වෙලාවේ පාඩම් කරන්න බෑ ළමයිට මේ බඩගින්න ඉන්නේ. අපි හිතුවා මේ අපි කෑම ව්‍යාපාරය පටන් ගන්නවා. හැමදාම සෙන්සුරාදා උදේට ළමයි 300කට විතර ඉස්කෝලේට එනවා. යතරේක පාසලට බතුයි එළවලු දෙකකුයි කෑම ලෑස්ති කරනවා.
අපි පාසලේ මේවා යොම් පියුම් කරනවද?
ඔව් පිටින් අපි ගේනවා ඒ කෑම. ගෙනල්ලා දෙමව්පියෝ අර ඕස්ට්‍රේලියාව වගේ දෙමව්පියෝ බාර අරගෙන ඒ කෑම බෙදාලා දීලා ඊට පස්සේ ළමයි පාඩම් කටයුතු පටන් ගන්නවා.
කියන්නේ පාසලට එන සියලුම ළමයින්ට ඒ දවසේ ආහාර සැපීමක් කෙරෙනවා.
ඔව් ඒ අතිරේක පාසලට එන හැම දරුවෙක්ටම සෙන්සුරාදා උදේට කෑම ලැබෙනවා. ඊට අමතරව මම ළඟදී පටන් ගත්ත ඒ සෙල්ල කතරගම මහාවිද්‍යාලයට සමුදා ඉඳන් සිකුරාදා වෙනකන් එන
දෛනික පාසලට එන
ඔව් දෛනික පාසලට එන ළමයින්ගෙන් ඊටාම සුළු කොටසක් ඊටාම දුප්පත්. ඉතින් අපි ඒගොල්ලව හඳුනාගෙන ඒගොල්ලන්ට දවසකට කෑම පාසල් 50ක් වගේ හැදෙන්න හැම දවසෙම ලබා දෙනවා. මේක බොහොම හොඳින් ඒ ගුරුවරු ඒ තෝරා බේරා ගන්නවා අවශ්‍යම ළමයිට.
ඉතින් ඇත්තටම මේක ලොකු සත්කාරයක් වගේම මේ වැඩසටහන නරඹන අපේ ප්‍රේක්ෂකයෝ ඕස්ට්‍රේලියාවේ ජීවත් වෙන ප්‍රේක්ෂකයෝ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මම දන්නවා ඔවුන් කැමති වෙනවා මේ වගේ මහඟු සත්කාරයකට දායක වෙන්න. ඔවුන්ට හැකියාවක් තියනවාද? ඔවුන් කැමැත්තක් දක්වනවා නම් මූලික වශයෙන් පමණක් නෙමෙයි ඔවුන්ගේ අනුග්‍රහය, ඔවුන්ගේ දායකත්වයේ සහයෝගය ලබා දෙන්න ඔවුන්ට හැකියාවක් තියෙනවා.
ඕනේ කෙනෙක්ට එහෙම හිතනවා නම් මේකට සහභාගී වෙන්න පුළුවන්. කැමැත්තෙන් සහභාගී වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේ ගැන තව විස්තර දැනගන්න ඕන නම් මට පර්සනලි කතා කරලා මේ වැඩි විස්තර දැනගන්න පුළුවන්. කවදා හරි ලංකාවට යනවනම් ගිහිල්ලා මේ ළමයිව හම් වෙලා මේ
දැකලා කතා බස් කරන එක
තීරණය කරන්න පුළුවන්. උදවනවා කිසිම ඇඩ්මිනිස්ට්‍රේෂන් කොස්ට් එකක් කිසිම දෙයක් නැහැ. මේ අපි වියදම් කරනවා කෙලින්ම ඒ ළමයින්ට ලැබෙන තමයි සලස්වන්නේ.
සහ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මම මතක් කළ යුතුමයි මෙය කිසිම මේ ලියාපදිංචි වෙච්ච සංවිධානයක් වශයෙන් කරන දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. ඔබ ඔබේ ස්වච්ඡාවෙන්ම ඉදිරිපත් වෙලා කරන වැඩපිළිවෙල.
ඔව් ඒකයි බොහොම පහසුවට මම ඒක ඒ විදිහටම බොහොම සරලව තියාගෙන තියෙනවා මේ ව්‍යාපෘති කරගෙන යන්න.
ඔව් බොහොමත්ම ස්තුතියි සංජී. ඇත්තටම ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයන් වශයෙන් අපි ඔබ ගැන ආඩම්බර වෙනවා. මොකද අපේ රට වෙනුවෙන් අපේ යුතුයකම අපේ ජනතාව වෙනුවෙන් අපේ වගකීමෙන් කොටසක් ඉටු කරන්නට ඔබ වැනි පිරිස යොමු වීම පිළිබඳව ඇත්තටම ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයන් වශයෙන් ඒක අපිට අභිමානයක්. ඉතින් ශ්‍රී ලංකා මොනින් ෂෝ වැඩසටහන මගින් ඔබ කරන ව්‍යාපෘතිය සඳහා තව තවත් එය සාර්ථක වෙන්න ඉදිරියේදී තව තවත් මේ වැඩසටහන ව්‍යාප්ත කරලා රට පුරාම කරන්නට හැකියාව ධෛර්ය ශක්තිය ලැබේවා කියලා අපි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා.
බොහොම ස්තුතියි සර්.